Hey everyone, I'm back with another video. So today I'm going to show you how I made these earrings. Now in part one, I showed you how I assembled it all. But in this video, we're going to work on one piece at a time, and then we're going to assemble it at the end. And this technique my dad has taught me, and it works very effectively, especially if you're working and you're doing a mass variety of items and you need to get it done really quickly. I find this to be more effective. He's done this for years, and what takes the most time, I believe, is when you are putting things on head pins and you're making loops, or wire wrapping, or you're beading and you're making, a bracelet or a choker or whatever. When you're stacking beads or you're making loops in a mass variety of items, it's very time consuming. But once you get that all done and you start assembling everything, it goes by really quickly, especially if you work on one piece at a time. And I'm going to show you how. So we are going to take one pearl bead. We are going to take one bead cap, and we're going to take a plastic bead. Another bead cap, like that, very simple. And then we're going to loop. So I've already made one off camera, so we're just going to make all of those right now, get it all done and out of the way. And we are going to make 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24. We got 2. And this, I'm sure some has found this technique to be very helpful, especially if they're in a rush and they're trying to make products within a short amount of time because they have somewhere to be, or they have for instance, like a craft fair to go to, and you're in the middle of making inventory. This would be a great way of getting everything done, so by the time you get there, everything's already ready. And yeah, so you just sit here and you make a bunch of them, and after you get all that done, then you start assembling. So you can put the ear hook next, you can put, you can connect it to the heart, you could put your keys on all of them, your charms. I'm using keys in this one. And yeah, I found he has done this for a while, and if you don't already know, both my father and my stepmother, they check my work. So even when I make jewelry for the salon, right? I make jewelry, I make a few pieces, and my dad will check my work to make sure it's sturdy, make sure it's holding up, make sure, you know, it fits, it's not going to pull apart. He's going to mess with it, he's going to tug on it, he's going to wear it, just to make sure it's strong enough to display. Because if you can't wear it, and just by tugging on it and it falls apart, it might just fall apart even sitting in a bag, even within travel, or so if you can't display it without it falling apart, if you can't wear it without falling apart, it's no good. So he checks my work all the time. So if I'm making anything, he wants to make sure it's gonna hold up. And or he'll give me like tips. Do this. You know, this is not working, you need to try this. So he'll give me suggestions. He'll mess with it himself to see, you know, if his idea is any better. And you know, he's done some of the welding, he's done some of the he's glued things for me. He's, you know, he takes a part in a lot of what I do, and so does she as well. My stepmom, she'd do the same thing. If I am making something, she wants to wear it, she wants to try it on for, you know, a few hours. She wants to see if it's gonna hold up. You know, if she can wear it for a few hours and it doesn't fall apart, you know, she can display it. Because if it's sitting on the rack in the salon and people are, you know, grabbing it, messing with it, and it starts falling apart, which sometimes it does, because, you know, I am not using the proper jump rings. And like I mentioned before, like with these jump rings, see, look, I can just, you see how I can't even twist it with my fingers. Normally when I get jump rings, I can twist it with my fingers, and it would open up. But I can take, and I can gently open it. But what I like to do is I like to take that and I like to overlap it. So when someone tugs on it or they pull on it, it doesn't pop open and it doesn't fall apart. So I like to turn my jump rings into like half of a split ring. So, you know, it can't be undone. If that makes sense. So I've been making jewelry for a few days. I know lately I've been making a lot of like junk jewelry videos, because I did hauls recently, and I do repairs and repurpose and detangle videos. But that is all sold separately from my handmade jewelry. Now, since, you know, it's like, you know, my dad has been wanting me to get serious about doing this, and, you know, if I need any changes made, or if something needs to be repaired or it's not holding up, he's gonna let me know before it even leaves the house. You know what I mean? It's you know, it's not leaving this house unless it holds up. And so yeah, if it falls apart, you know, no, this doesn't work, do it again. Try this or try that, or you need to try something different. because this isn't working. So I said, okay. So for me, it's better if they check it first rather than me saying, okay, I have all these earrings that I just made. I'm going to package them up and I'm going to start selling them. And then what if they start breaking on people, and then they're not going to want to buy my jewelry because, again, I didn't really take the time to do it correctly. I didn't use the proper material, which, you know, I would buy my material for like $1 a piece, and I always wondered why is it falling apart? And that's because it's not even, it's like cheap metal, and it just wasn't holding up, and my jewelry kept falling apart on me, and it was just I couldn't keep anything together because I didn't have the proper material. So when I got that all situated and figured out, now I need to see the type of jewelry that's going to sell. What's going to sell the fastest? What does everybody want? And what is everyone looking for? So in the salon, everybody loves religious jewelry. So at this place, there's a lot of people that are into religion, and they love like religious jewelry. So for me to make a wide variety of jewelry within that, you know, of what is in demand for me to make, works really well, because they know they can go to the salon, they know there's going to be new pieces of jewelry there, there's always going to be something different, there's always going to be what I normally make, which are the stretch bracelets with the little charms, because I make that all the time. And then there's going to be new pieces of jewelry that just stands out, you know, that's not what I normally make, but something that's different, whether, you know, oh, these are, you know, unique. And it's like the earrings. I made those shell earrings with the charms. So I made those I had mother of pearl shell beads, and I put charms on top of it, and then I put like little glass crystals, and I made like a cluster, and they bought half of them and they loved it, and they wanted me to make more. Well, what happened was, there was a woman that came in and she had requested a certain pair of earrings. Now, she had a set that she bought. It was a gold and pearl set, and she didn't have any earrings to go with it. She had the necklace and the bracelet, but she didn't have any earrings. So she's like, can you make earrings with rings, with gold rings and a large pearl? So I had, I think, 14 millimeter, 12 millimeter like beads, and she described to me what she wanted, and I said, okay, I got you. I know. Let me go see, because I know I have exactly what you're describing already in inventory. Let me make it for you. I made it within a few minutes. I had the pearls, I had the rings, and I made it, and she fell in love with it. So that tells me that, you know, if I were to make more of those earrings, they would sell out. So, and so that's just something that I have in mind. if I were to make those particular type of earrings again, I know they would sell quickly. Rather than if I make, there was something I made these little keychains with shell. It was just a few pieces on a key ring. I don't really like this, if I could speak, I don't really like the design that I did, because I know that I could have made it better, but I thought I would try it. Nobody was looking at it, so I know, okay, I'm not gonna make those and display them there because nobody's looking at them. So that's just something to be mindful. If I'm making something and they're not really looking at it, that doesn't mean it's not going to sell at all. It's just it won't sell at that particular place because everyone is looking for a particular type of jewelry, a certain theme, and that's what everyone gravitates to. So if I were to make those same charms and key rings and display it somewhere else, it might go. They actually might buy it, but it's not going to sell there. I would have to make something else. So when that happens, I'm like, okay, let me try something out. So lately, at first, you know, I was only supposed to make religious jewelry. That's all it was. And I was like, really, I don't want to be limited in my creativity. You know, I want to do a little of everything if I could. And then when I just started, you know, making stuff, I bring it there and people are looking at it. Sometimes they buy it, sometimes they don't. But if I don't try and, you know, put something out there, I would never know if it would grab interest or not. So I have to really I just have to keep that in mind, because I know that's what works for me, and it might even work for you, if you're in to jewelry making or anything that you're into. This is just what works for me and what doesn't work for me. I don't give up. You know, if I make something and it doesn't go anywhere, I don't give up, because I know eventually it will sell to the right people, just not at that time. It's like right item, wrong time. You know, if you've ever heard that saying, not in that particular way, but if you've ever heard that saying, that's what it is. Even, you know, when I was, you know, selling stuff, other things, like other items, sometimes, you know, I'd be stuck with an item for an entire year before someone comes by and says, hey, you know, I've been really looking for that, you know, and they'll buy it. After a year, that item will be sold. But that's because I kept putting it out there. I kept listing it. I kept putting it on display. And someone finally reached out and needed that item from me. So you have to be persistent. You can't give up. You have to keep putting it out there. One day someone is going to need or want that item that you're so persistent on trying to sell, and you're eventually going to get that item sold. But sometimes it's not going to happen right away. It might take a few months to a year, like what happened with me. So but yeah, there's times where, you know, I've put my jewelry making on the back burner, and I've done other things, and you know, I felt really unhappy. And it was like, you know, yeah, you know, I film videos, I clean and stuff, but I wasn't really doing what my heart desired. You know what I mean? It was something that was missing in my life. And yeah, yes, I enjoy cleaning. I love it. It's very relaxing. It's very therapeutic. You know, I do it every day. Even if I'm not filming, I'm cleaning, I'm doing stuff, because my mind just drives me crazy, and it helps me relax and it clears my mind. But making jewelry is my calling, and it really lets me be creative. It really lets me just think outside of what needs to be done, but what I want to do. And it's unlimited to jewelry making. You can make whatever you want. You can be creative. You can, you know, whatever you feel like making, just make it. You know, even if it's not going anywhere, that's your item. You took the time to put it together. One day that person will come around and will buy that particular item. But that doesn't mean you should just give up altogether because, you know, no one's looking at that particular, you know, piece, or it hasn't gone anywhere in a while. And I used to have that mindset. I used to think, okay, I made all this jewelry, nobody's looking at it, I'm just gonna give up, I'm just not gonna do it anymore. And that's the wrong mindset to have, like, in general, just to give up. And I would find myself doing that, and I put this off for a while. I did. And my dad came up to me, and I don't even think I was doing hollows at the time. I think I just gave up altogether. I think I was just doing hygiene and body care at that time. And he was like, are you even making jewelry? Did you just stop doing jewelry altogether? And I was like, yeah. He's like, why did you stop? Because at the time I was unhappy. You know, I was unhappy with what I was making. I felt like what I was doing wasn't good enough, and I felt like I was wasting my time, and I was wasting my money on buying beads, material, all these junk jewelry lots, because I felt like, okay, why am I wasting my money? It's not going anywhere. It's not going to go anywhere. Nobody wants it. And that was my mindset, and that's why I gave up doing it for a while, because of that negative mindset. And that's the wrong mindset to have. And now I make it, and if it doesn't go anywhere, I don't worry about it. I go on and make something else that's going to, you know, that might grab interest. But I can save what I already made, and I could sell it later, and maybe someone will buy it. Maybe, you know, I need to package it better. Maybe it's the way I'm displaying it. Maybe it could be a variety of different reasons why it didn't go anywhere. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20. 2, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20. So I need to make 4 more. So yeah, when I feel like I'm not motivated or I have that negative mindset, I quickly go and just sit down and I just start beading. I just start putting stuff together. Even if I don't feel motivated, there's times where I don't feel like making jewelry and I'm just like, I really don't want to do this today. I'm not in the mood. I don't feel creative. I feel lazy or something, because majority of the time that's what it is. It's not being tired, because you know I'm rarely ever tired, but it's just laziness on my end. Basically, I just don't want to do it. But if I sit down and I make 1 pair of earrings, I'm going to be happy with whatever I made, and I'm going to want to make more. And usually that's how it happens. I have to sit down, make my first piece of jewelry in order to get motivated. It doesn't happen. You know, there's days where, you know, I can't just sit down and, oh, I'm going to make this today and I have a plan. No, majority of the time, I think about what I want to do, but I don't always do it until I just sit down and I just start beading, and then I'm like, oh, I really like the way that looks. I want to make more. And right now I'm in that zone of making jewelry because I love what I'm doing. I see the inventory growing and I feel happy and proud in my work and what I've already done. Now I'm motivated to do more. And usually that's how it happens. Sometimes I just need that extra push to do something, and then I'm able to do it. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22. 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20. For me, honestly, it's easier just to film a cleaning video because, you know, it's easy for me. It just comes easy for me to just film a cleaning video. I can just go out there, I can just, you know, walking around the yard and I already think of what I want to do just by just walking around the yard. Oh, I could be doing this, or I need to do that, and it's easy just to pick up the camera, clean that area, and I'm done, rather than sitting down and making jewelry and then filming it because I have a set plan and I know what I want to film. I have a tutorial or something that I can create or make, or I have an idea. It just doesn't come that easy for me without the motivation. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 24. I keep forgetting what number I'm on. Okay, now that these are all made, let's so the pearl goes on the bottom, the plastic bead goes on top, because it's like 2 different shades. So, all right, let's start assembling. So I take a jump ring, and then I make sure that I loop it over. I layer it so it sits like this. So if someone were to tug on it, this won't open. The jump ring won't pop open, and that's what you want. You don't want, you know, because if you just close the jump ring normally, someone were to tug on it, this would open and your piece would fall apart. So I always like to, you know, loop it over, just for that extra security. I could use split rings because I have it, but they're just so hard to open and it's very time consuming. And I like to use the split rings when it comes to like charms, like chunky charms, charm bracelets, like that, because of the extra weight that the chain carries. Split rings are like, I think are more effective. If I were to use split rings for this, I would have to use that special tool, and it's very time consuming because I gotta constantly like turn and turn and turn just to get it on the just to connect it onto the jump ring, and that's just takes too much time. See that? See how I just did that? And it's secure. See, I'm tugging on it. That's what you want. You want that extra security. So now, since they always check my work, and he checks the jump rings, like he's very detailed. Like, he's an autistic welder, so he pays very, very close to detail. So he'll pick up on my mistake before, you know, I even, you know, explain what I just did. He'll already see a mistake already about to happen, or something I already did and I have to fix it. So yeah, I can't get away with doing that. So do the same thing, make sure it's right there, clip it, push it down, and plus it makes the loop a little bit better. I think we're gonna use this with that. I don't know. We're gonna use it. It's gonna work. It's gonna work out. And I'm gonna have to pair these because I want to do a video on how I put these together. I think I mentioned that in the first video, and you're gonna see how I package it, because I do have cards, earring cards. And we're gonna try to use it because I have the bags as well. He I think he ordered some bags for me, so I have those. But the cards I have, they're very small, and I know I could still use them. I just got to put them in a bag to where they're sitting and they're not like folded. I want to make sure that they're sitting nice and such. But yeah, I get motivation from watching other creators. There's a handful of people that I watch on a daily basis when it comes to jewelry making, because they're very knowledgeable, and I can see my mistakes from the past and the present, and I know, okay, I know I did that wrong. Now I know what I can do in order to fix it, in order to prevent that. So I find everyone's video to be very helpful for me, because I'm still learning. I've been doing this since 2016. It's been 8 years since I've been beading, and I'm still learning. And yeah, I've been, it's, you know, that's also why I have a large variety of beads and stuff, because, you know, not only am I a hoarder, but I've been doing this for so long that I didn't want to just stick to making one particular type of jewelry. Now, when I first started, I started making stretch bracelets and necklaces. And the necklaces was taught to me because I was confused on how to do that with like the crimp covers and the crimp beads, like how to, you know, keep it together, and, you know, all that was new to me, and that was taught to me. And I watched videos on, you know, everything between like chunky charms, threading, stitch work, seed bead making, charms, just regular like stacking beads, just everything. I watch everything, and I'm still learning how to do things correctly. I see my mistakes when I listen to the advice of others and their stories, and what works and what doesn't work for them. And, you know, I can relate because, you know, I made a lot of mistakes making jewelry, and I find everyone's video to be helpful in some way. And I'm the kind of person where, you know, if I'm watching a video and I like to be very I like to see what everyone else is making that day. You know, if they're uploading, there's a few that I watch that, you know, I want to see, because I'm subscribed to everybody, like all the jewelry makers, like I'm subscribed to everybody, but there's a wide variety of people that make necklaces in a day, and I'm like, no, I don't want to make necklaces today. I want to make something different. You know, I want to make something that not everyone else is making today. So that's what I pay attention to, and I do that with my when I do my body care and hygiene videos, or even when I clean. I'm subscribed to everybody, and everything that I'm into that I do, I'm subscribed to those type of people as well and their content. And I want to do what's different. I want to do different from what everyone else is doing. So I'll sit there for a few hours, even at night, when everyone's sleeping. I'll be binge watching videos, and, you know, if I see everyone doing whole house clean with me's, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to do something else, or something that needs to be done. And I just want to, I want to stand out, you know what I mean? I want to do something different. Now, I've heard that my jewelry making is very unique and very different, and I have my own style. And thank you for all of you who do watch me and love my content and what I do, because that's very much appreciative, and it keeps me motivated. It makes me feel like, you know, my what I put out there is helpful, it's useful, and yeah, and I love that, so thank you. You see how it's already coming together? And then last, all we gotta do is put on the little key charms. And you see how quick that's going? That's already 41 minutes. But it's because I'm talking, ramblings. But yeah, I love this technique. You know, I love you know, making my pieces in pieces like this, and it seems to go by pretty quickly. And at the time, you know, when you're making, like I mentioned, when you're wrapping and you're making loops and you're trying to assemble the main piece, it usually takes quite a while, especially when you're making loops. But when you start, you know, putting on the jump rings and you start assembling, it goes by so quick because you already have all your pieces made. All you gotta do is put it together. And you know, he has been doing this for many years. He's been doing it for like several decades, his work. And yeah, so I'm gonna try to do this in one video. Make sure you close it. You always want that extra security. Make sure you always close it. And 21 pieces seems like a lot, but Oreo's out, walking so gracefully like he always does. He's a very sweet dog. He doesn't like being outside with the big dog. So he just yeah, hopefully and sometimes I'm either like one short or I have one extra, which is fine because I can always use it for something else. I think that's what happened here. I gotta count it again. So I got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24. Okay. Where's the keys? They're right here. Take the bottom loop, open it, put the key on there, and close it. Take the ear wire, open it, put it on. Close it. Done.